having
Well, I mean,
great old
but
time
that's the
with
thing. If you're not, but we're movie reviewers. We gotta nitpick it just to say, if not, just say, don't waste your time watching us. Go see a movie. I hope they didn't just.
Just click away.
I hope all your 20 followers didn't just go, oh yeah, you good idea. Sorry about that.
All right, guys, we are back. Now we're going to talk about some Deadpool 2. So like I said, we're going in chronological order. So we went through Solo, the Star Wars movie first, and now we're going to get into Deadpool 2. And so the first question that everyone's really going to ask, is it as good as the first one? What do you think? You think it's as good as the first one?
Yes and no. I mean, parts of it were, parts of it weren't. Okay. Was it as funny as the first one? Probably not, but I think that's an issue of, you don't know what to expect in the first one. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like taking a trip. You're like, you're not sure how long it takes to get there, but you enjoy it, and then you go take a trip again. You're like, yeah, that's faster than I thought it was. Mm-hmm. Well, I thought it took longer than that. I thought it was more scenic than that. Mm-hmm. But you're so excited about going somewhere, you don't really notice it. It's like you're sort of like, oh, what's this and what's going on, and
yeah, because Deadpool, it, in a way, it was kind of revolutionary when it came out.
Yeah,
because they never really done anything like that, and we knew that the studios had a lot of reservations about doing something like this, and doing an R-rated, for some reason, doing an R-rated comic book movie. I don't know why that was a problem, but now we've got a couple of them out now, but
yeah.
But yeah,
well, they probably thought, oh, well, it's not going to do it, and it, it's like, oh, it's not going to do well.
Yeah, they're trying to okay, we got to get butts and seats and stuff like that. So we got to make it PG-13. You get more people to go see it and everything. But my thing is it's Deadpool. If people are fans of the comics and they're going to go see Deadpool. They'll figure out a way to see it. Yep. Whether their parents got to go with them or they just sneak in. I'm pretty sure a lot of people snuck in, or just people in movie theaters didn't even care. So, my opinion, I'd say it's pretty close to being as good as the first one.
Mm-hmm. Well, in some ways it is, in some ways it's not.
Yeah. It's Deadpool. Like Ryan Reynolds is just as funny in this one as he is in the first one, but there's not an overabundance of humor in this one as there is in the other one, but I almost think most of that is by design. Because there's a lot.
This one's a heavier movie, though.
Yeah,
it's a heavier movie.
Yeah,
it's a sadder and heavier movie.
Yes, and they don't really skimp on the sad parts of it. Like when something's going down.
It's pretty. You're like, oh man, that really sucks.
Yeah,
like
when stuff starts to go down, there's genuine emotion there. Yeah. And everything. It's not just
and that's pretty good to be a Marvel kind of popcorn kind of goofy movie. They're like, wow, that's pretty deep.
Mm-hmm. But yeah,
are we talking like Logan deep?
Yeah, in some ways, yeah.
Some of them,
because he's basically he's more or less searching his soul, I would think.
Yeah,
in some respect.
Yeah,
which is kind of what Logan was sort of trying to figure out. Where in the Logan movies, well, I mean, certainly Logan has a lot more weight on his shoulders for the whole thing with everything with Professor and the kid and everything. Mm-hmm. But to some extent, yeah, I mean, as much as you can get in this movie, he's doing soul searching, and kind of trying to figure out where he fits and where he belongs, sort of.
Yes,
but it's not done in a, I don't know. It's not done in a preachy weird way. It's a little weird. But it's just
the context of the movie. It just really just kind of brings that out and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that part of it. Just because I'm a big I feel like I'm harder on most comedies than some people are. For me, comedy, it's like I go in there and I was just like, you better be funny. And but there's also
but we do comedy, so we know it's like it's like when we do improv stuff, and I've seen other comedians and they cuss a lot, and that's fine. I personally don't think it's funny to cuss necessarily. I mean, sometimes it is. I mean, I watch Australian dash cams and listen to them cuss because it's the accent that makes it funnier. But if you say a bad word, they go, but then if you say a bad word again, it's like, oh, and you say it again, like. So you always
That-
have to top any comedy. You have to top it.
And that shouldn't be the joke
No, it
necessarily.
shouldn't. Yeah.
Now now it's kind of weird to say that because in the first one there were cases where that was the joke,
Right.
but that was the thing. Like it was almost like it was a meta joke because you know how movies always trying to dial back.
Finish her the up.
Language, please.
One of the things I did like, and I don't know, I felt like a few people may have missed this, and I don't know how you felt about it, but what's one of the major problems with sequels? And you said it earlier. You said it earlier with Solo. One of the major problems that people will have, I mean, movies in general, but it's usually sequels. Sequels have the worst of this, and it's usually they get lazy with writing. And that's an ongoing joke, actually, in this movie. That Deadpool, of course, he's going to point it out and everything.
Right.
It's just like, oh, it just happens to like the villain, or quote unquote the villain, the bad guy and the good guy all have to work together, and he's just like, okay, that's just lazy.
Was that fourth wall breaking?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
one issue I had. This movie did it way too much.
It did a lot. It did a lot.
And I'm
Yeah,
like,
more than the first one did. Yeah. There's a level of like, okay, you could do that to where it's funny when you do it, or you could do it to where like, okay, now it's taking me out of the movie altogether.
Right.
So it kind of the one thing I'll say, he never did it at a moment where it was like serious emotion going on.
No,
and I
yeah.
appreciated that.
Yeah.
Because that's my big thing. Like, don't undercut something that's really emotional or really intense or something like that with a joke. Because if you immediately break that tension, that takes me out of it altogether, and I'm just like, all right, you don't care anymore.
But that's I think what a good film does in general. It's like you're having that moment in a silly movie like this is, and then he has some seriously deep emotions. You're like, I thought this was a silly Marvel movie, and you're like, I'm gonna start. Where's my tissue? He's like, where's my tissue? I'm not crying. You're crying.
They Pixar'd a Marvel movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
I'd say so.
Oh, yeah.
There's some.
Well, there was some foreshadowing. Again, what a good movie does is like he's trying to, they set him up. It's like, okay, hey, they're gonna, he's an assassin. That's what he's doing. Apparently, everybody's fine with that. And he doesn't kill a guy. And then you go, okay, that's gonna come back, and it comes back.
It does.
And it comes back in a big, heavy way. Are we gonna spoil it or no? Someone
won't
close,
spoil-
someone close to him dies.
Yeah.
And
that's
he
all
has
we'll say.
some, and he
That's all
has
we'll
some,
say.
he goes through some soul searching and trying to figure out, and the whole thing like
Yeah.
that. So,
It is one of those things. If you are paying attention to the trailers, you can kind of figure that out.
and it's not a quick fix. It actually takes a while for him to figure out, and then, and I mean, I guess overall, it's like, okay, so the assassin realizes the value of human life, maybe, or something.
Yeah. And the assassin. Yeah. Well, there's two people that actually kind of realize that, because Deadpool kind of realizes that,
Right.
but also the character of Cable, because Cable comes back in time to kill someone who's killed his family,
Right.
or whatever. And at this current point in time, that person is just a kid, hasn't done anything
Right.
yet. But it's one of those things. Like, it's like there's actually some genuine emotion there. I'm like, oh, okay, I get that and everything. I will say the character of Cable is, I don't know. Like, there was moments where I'm like, he is really cool, and then there's moments where I'm just like, he is extremely cheesy.
Right.
So-
Yeah.
There is a fine line
Yeah.
between,
I will say this. I think that the character, Josh Brolin and Ryan Reynolds, I think they bounce off each other really well.
Yeah.
And even some of like the fight scenes and everything like that they have are really cool. But like I said, there's moments where I'm just like, all right, this is a little bit much. But I think my favorite character overall is actually Domino.
Yes. Oh yeah.
She has some of the, and you've seen, like, if you've seen the trailers, you've seen some of like the action sequences and everything like that. The trailers do not do that justice.
No, they don't.
Yeah, I mean, like, I somehow I avoided all the trailers. I think because there was moments when I was either waiting for you, I was waiting for Anthony or something like that during like one of our movie get-togethers and everything, and I would be outside, so I kind of missed the previews and stuff like that. So I think that kind of attributed to me missing trailers for Deadpool. I didn't see any before the movie. I went, because usually I'll go out my way to see some after the movie and everything. I'm just like, okay, what did the trailers actually do? Did they reveal too much? In this case, they didn't. But I would say like I said, there's a part that we didn't really hint on. We said like if you're paying attention to the trailers, you can kind of pick that up. Just kind of like with Logan, you can kind of, if you're paying attention to the trailer, you can kind of gather that Xavier is going to pass in that movie. So I was like, okay, yeah, you can see that. This one, I think they did what a trailer should do. Now, I haven't seen the first one. The first one's the only one I haven't seen. I've only seen the second one when they had all the characters of Domino. But there was the first one when, like, quote unquote, Deadpool was actually getting mad because like there were certain shots that weren't finished, like the CGI wasn't done and stuff like that.
The action figure.
Yeah.
Like, regeneration powers activate. You don't see that. It's like.
Yeah, so I haven't seen that one in its entirety and everything, but I've seen like little pictures from it and everything. But Domino, oh my gosh, like her powers of luck, whatever, the trailers don't do that justice. That is one of the coolest things that I have seen.
Yeah.
And I mean, even like it's one of those. If you've ever seen, we've all seen X2, right? X-Men 2, and we've seen the opening scene with Nightcrawler. That is one of the coolest action sequences in that whole series, or in a comic book series in general. That's one of the coolest ones. And you don't like, even I've read comics for years, and that is never something that I just really expect. It's like, okay, yeah, he teleports. Yeah, I was like, okay, teleports. All right, that's cool and everything. You don't see no one's been that imaginative with it.
Right.
Even on drawn paper, animated paper, cartoons have had him in it. No one has been that level of imaginative with it. That's what I would say about Domino. It's like they took it. I was just like, okay, what can we really do with this?
Right.
So that I think they did really, really good with that.
So it's good to see strong women doing stuff. It's not a social justice warrior thing.
Nope.
It's like you want to see, somebody cool.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who they are. I mean,
exactly.
Competency.
Yeah.
You just want to see competency in
right.
it.
I mean, like in the X-Men animated series, I think we all loved Rogue because she was, kicked butt.
Yeah.
And then, and Jean Grey, because she kicked butt and had her own way. I mean,
Jubilee was usually the annoying one because, like, you always got to rescue her and everything.
Right, yeah.
Like, come on, man.
Exactly. So it's good to see that because, I mean, I don't know. It's just cool because if you're going to have a superhero group, you got to make sure they all can take care of themselves because if not, then you're always rescuing the weakest member, and that's not really helping you.
Yes, exactly. X-Force was kind of cool. I will admit that. I like that they brought the actual X-Force title into it and everything. I thought that's pretty neat. There's a lot of jokes for the comic fan. Comic fan, if you've been paying attention to either the comic movies or just comics in general, there's a lot of little head nods, a little Easter egg moments in there that. It's all for you. The way I would kind of say like that this movie is truly for the fans. I would say that like more so than the first one. The first one was like, yeah, he did this for he wanted to do this. It was a passion project. This one is kind of more for like your fans and everything.
Yeah, but like you were saying, I mean, there was great emotion and the music was really good. The music was spot on. The music to me in this movie was like the first Guardians. The music was perfect. They did rap music. They did Barbra Streisand music. They did Annie. I mean, they did all kinds of, they did like all kinds of crazy stuff. The jokes were great. The James Bond opening was great.
Yes, they have a really cool James Bond opening.
Yeah, and they kind of cross it over. It's not just James Bond. The main theme of it is a James Bond, but they throw in other movie references in there.
Right.
Because that's what you gotta do.
Right.
I mean, like. What was it in the movie itself? There was an Omen reference, and then there was the Say Anything, which they might have shown on some of the previews where he's holding the little phone as the boombox, outside of the things. But like you said, there were too many asides. The ending part was too long.
It drug.
There's a couple. Yeah, you don't want to. I don't know.
I gotta put blame on the editor there. I mean, yeah, because like, all right, you're filming, you're just saying like, okay, just go. you tell the actor, just
Right.
like this is an improv, just go.
Right.
And usually you'll keep some of the best scenes and stuff like that, and you'll cut it short and everything. They didn't really do that here.
No.
They just kind of was like
They went on. We're like, and it was an emotional scene, and then it was like, oh, it's going now, because then that kind of get to the point where, not in a comical way, but it's a very absurd way, to where it's like, okay, you were going with an emotion that you hit pretty close, and early on you hit square on.
Mm-hmm.
But then it kept going on, kind of like the Family Guy, which is now, okay, it's not funny anymore. It's not sad anymore. It's just really annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the jokes they did in this movie, like in the first movie when he lost his hand, the baby hand. Well, this one you had that kind of sort of thing, which was drug on too long. It was absurd. A lot of people are gonna go, "Hey, talk about it was funny." I just did it. Like, yeah, but that's the same though.
Yeah,
you need to do something different.
Yeah,
I mean, or if you're gonna do it real quick as like an homage. You tipped your hat and then move on.
Yeah, there
don't
you go.
drag it out and you go, okay, and then this other mess when he's walking around. I'm like, really? Come on.
Oh, okay, I
You
got you. I know
know.
what you're talking
But
about.
the people next to us enjoyed that scene extremely because they were cracking up. They were just dying over. They were sitting right next, one seat over from me or whatever. It was a couple, I think they were, but they were just having.
Well, I mean,
great old
but
time
that's
with
the
that.
thing. If you're not, but we're movie reviewers. We gotta nitpick it just to say if not, just say don't waste your time watching us. Go see a movie. I hope they didn't just.
Just click away.
I hope all your 20 followers didn't just go, oh yeah, you good idea. Sorry about that.
And I mean that's just one of my things though. Like personally, and I think it's yours as well. It's just like when jokes run on a little bit too long,
It's just not funny.
It's not funny anymore. It's,
funny
just like
anymore.
okay,
Well,
I get
That's
it.
the Family Guy thing, which okay, the first time is okay, but then you do it 5 more times. It's just like you're wasting my
For
time.
me, it's like watching a lot of Will Ferrell movies or Melissa McCarthy. Melissa McCarthy, especially, she's known for telling basically the same joke throughout all of her movies are almost the exact same in that way, and yeah, you kind of have to freshen it up a little bit, or the homage, and then take it somewhere new. I think that's a good way of
And it's
doing
not
it.
saying like you can't go bigger because like
But
okay,
then go bigger. Don't drag it.
Yes,
Dragging is different.
Yeah, it's like okay, they did go bigger with it, but like you said, it just kept going, and it was just like to where it's like, all right, this really isn't funny anymore, So that's just one of the things. That's a pet peeve of mine or whatever when jokes run on just a little bit too long. I had the same problem with the Guardians movie, Guardians 2.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
They just ran
But
on.
that's the thing about building the comedy thing is you do something, you make it more absurd and bigger, and then really absurd and bigger, and then something else is going to happen, which kind of changes it, and then you kind of come and reset and do something else. But if it drags out, it's the opposite. You're taking, if it's an emotion or a joke that is good, you're actually killing it. If it's an emotion, you want people to linger in that emotion.
Right.
You don't want to keep dragging it out and kind of go, okay, I'm not sad anymore. Now I'm kind of annoyed or uncomfortable or just feeling weird.
For Guardians 2, when I think back on some of those humorous points where they pause too much, I almost felt like somebody needed to hit the laugh track button. That was like the way it was designed. It's
Exactly.
like laugh track here, but instead all you have is silence. And it's
it's awkward when
it's
that
awkward.
happens. Yeah,
So here's the movie references. Can I just? I'm just gonna hit them real quick.
Sure.
The names. So in the movie Deadpool 2, they threw all these references in some way, shape, or form. And so if you watch it, you'll catch most of them. Some of them I didn't catch. I was like, really? Okay. So The Wizard of Oz, Bambi, The Executioner, which I never heard of, The Muppet Show, Winnie the Pooh, very Star Wars, Puff the Magic Dragon, Superman, the original.
The Magic Dragon.
There's like a Puff stuffed animal or something.
Okay.
Raiders of the Lost Ark, as an homage when he's running the distance to the car with all people chasing. The Joy of Painting with Bob Ross. Yeah.
That was an awesome trailer.
Yeah, the Flash Dance, Yentl, which again we mentioned the Barbra Streisand. Spinal Tap because the Cable's gun goes up to 11.
Right.
Which is funny. Karate Kid, sweep the leg, Johnny. He says, which is funny. Terminator, Goonies. He mentions the one-eyed Willie thing. RoboCop, Batman. I'm Batman, right?
Yes.
The Terminator 2, Basic Instinct with the leg cross, which again was ridiculous. I thought it was ridiculous. Lion King, Ace Ventura. That's kind of funny. Interview with the Vampire because they mentioned something about that with what's her name? Oh, it was an interview with the Vampire. No, Interview with the Vampire. The Matrix. Felicity, Wonderful World of Disney.
What?
Yeah, I'm like Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, Passion of the Christ. He mentions that.
Yes,
which is really strange. That was really weird. That was really weird. I'm like, what in the world? Time Traveler's Wife, The Human Centipede, which is disgusting. Do not Google that. Do not Google that. And if you do, don't come back.
How many sequels are there of that movie now?
Two, I think.
Yeah,
I don't.
Something.
Stop talking about it. Stop talking about it. But yeah, so here's the thing. We talk about Solo, how much money it did not make.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's the budget for Deadpool. They supposedly estimated. They say was $110 million, which again I just can't even imagine. But it made 125 on this weekend, so it made the money back and some more. And it's as of last week, it tripled its money.
So it costs a third as much to make, and it made
it back that weekend.
Yeah,
and more.
Yeah,
and it's made 3 times more than that.
Yeah,
it's actually made more. And that's just the United States. It's made more than the Solo movie has
overseas,
almost worldwide. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Now worldwide.
Oh gosh.
Worldwide, it's doubled the money that Han Solo made overseas worldwide.
Wow.
It's like $700+ million.
Wow.
You're like, whoa. So
this is for a rated R movie.
That's for a rated R
movie.
And those
silly,
are usually
goofy
not
movie.
And it's I don't know. It's kind of weird that it would do so well because like there's all these overseas. America, yes, I would definitely get England.
I think
stuff like
Deadpool
that,
overseas is a little strange to make that much extra money overseas. The Solo movie I can kind of see a little bit because it's an iconic character.
Yeah,
but this.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, America, England, Australia. Okay, I can kind of get that, but some of the other countries,
like Russia
I'm like,
somewhere.
Yeah, that's interesting. All right.